Advisory Commission meeting today, July 7th at 6 p.m. Item agenda, approval of the agenda. Can I get approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say the same thing. All right, agenda approved. Next item of the agenda is approval of minutes. So these are minutes from last month. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Awesome. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Any opposing? All right, minutes approved. Public comment. Any public comment?
No public comment this evening.
So the next item is staff report.
Excellent. So you have our most recent report there in your packet. I'll hit the highlights. And so, you know, it's been a long 15, 16 months. We've had a COVID-19 update, and it's been a big part, of course, of what we've been doing. It's still there on our report. It feels like it's normalizing-ish, which is great, but it's still important for us to help communicate those changes. Just this month, at the beginning of this month, for example, the city reopened the community center for drop-in use, but we still have some parameters and some mitigation efforts there. Still reminding folks to get vaccinated and that we have safe, effective, and free vaccines to prevent COVID. And that's Johnson County is doing really well. We're above 50%. Eligible folks who are eligible are high, so that's all really great. We've been working on some messaging around masking until you're vaxxed. It reads cooler than it sounds. It's hard to say, masked until you're vaxxed. But that's our policy that we've implemented there at the community center and throughout the city. So that's been sort of our message, and encouraging folks, again, to get vaccinated. We've continued to work with the local public health on our summer slate mitigation. You know, the CDC came out with its big update right before our first big mega kite event, which threw us a little bit for a loop and sort of how we're going to handle that. We've worked really well with them to sort of make sure that we've got good messaging. We feel good about how we're proceeding. We're continuing to have hand washing stations and hand sanitizer. All of these events are outside. And we've got a few that we're going to be a little bit more focused on, right, that have some unvaccinated populations, like the inflatables, which are coming later in July. But we're just trying to be cognizant. We're also trying to use those as an opportunity to work with some folks who are trying to do some pop-up clinics just to encourage those vaccination rates. The summer slate's been going really well. We've got so our kites were last month. We had about 4,000 folks sort of come in and out throughout the day. The weather was great. It was really nice to see folks having an opportunity to get together and do some public events. The masking was good, and we've got a concert outdoors this Saturday. Park will open at 5. Music will start at 6. That will be BYOB. We're not doing any other service there. We'll have places for folks to sit, and that'll be sort of enclosed. But bring your own picnic, bring your own fun, bring your own drinks, which is great. We can talk a little bit more about staffing a little bit. Just this month too. So last month we worked with Field to Family to implement to bring a no contact pickup for farmers market, local farm goods to North Liberty. Those carts you can order from noon on Tuesdays through noon on Wednesdays. We'll be doing that through August. It's a great opportunity for us to sort of help gauge maybe a little bit more what that interest is for farmers market goods in North Liberty, as well as what folks are willing to do as far as volunteering to help put that on. So you can, Field to Family is still soliciting volunteers for our pickup location, as well as our location in Iowa City. Great neighborhoods are continuing. I'll update you on that in the next and later on in the agenda. Summer construction projects. Rancho Way started today. Maybe you saw some machinery out there. So we're making sure folks know what's coming, and also trying to help people focus on what the outcome of this will be. So that just kicked off, like I said, last week with the work starting in earnest today. There won't be any road closures early. That will potentially come during a fourth phase when they build an underpass. Hold on. See if I can. There we go. We'll at least get these two bits put together. So folks can sign up at northlibertyiowa.org/subscribe for information about those and updates as we go this summer. Those are my big high points. I'm happy to take any questions you folks have.
Are you seeing a lot of people reaching out about things that you've already canceled, like Burfett or not? Sorry, wrong city.
About Blues and Barbecue, for example?
Yes.
You know, we haven't gotten a whole lot of that. Today we pushed out an announcement, just a reminder about the concert in the park this Saturday. That prompted sort of that first sort of wave of like, is this in place at Blues and Barbecue? We were trying to be very conscientious of how we approached it. And we announced pretty early that we weren't going to hold Blues. There were just too many things up in the air, and we were certainly optimistic, but we acknowledged that we weren't clairvoyant. And there were just too many moving parts to do that. So our hope had been to sort of announce that and then announce a summer slate after that and just focus on that. Concert in the park sort of brought Blues and Barbecue to mind. So we certainly got some questions today if that was in place of that. So we're trying to really get people to focus on all the other things that we have going on this summer, and people have been understanding.
Thanks.
What was the turnout for the Mega Kites event?
We estimate about 4,000 throughout the day, in and out.
And then I have a question in regards to the farmers market.
How
did that come to be? Did Build to Family reach out to the city?
Yeah, so Angela McConville reached out to them to ask them if they would be interested in partnering to see what kind of a spot we could do. And we had some early conversations about what that could look like, what that might take from the city to do that. They were interested in expanding their reach in Johnson County. The more access to folks who can get local farm products is part of what they want to do. So we had a few conversations about what that might look like. We talked with staff to sort of figure out where our staff point of contact. Matt Messick in the recreation department is really leading the logistics on our end, and found a good spot. It's right there at the community center. So we've got the tables that they need and bathrooms and all of those pieces. And it really just seemed to be a pretty good fit where the effort that they were going to need from us were all things that seemed like what we could do, and they were interested in putting it on, and they were committed to doing it all 3 months, which is great too. So this isn't the sort of thing where if we don't see a big turnout in early June, we won't see August. So that'll be really nice too.
Volunteered for the one in Iowa City, and it was very smooth, very well done. I was like, how do I sign up? But it is in Iowa City on a Saturday, and I was like, I don't live there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great news. I definitely want to participate.
Okay. Yeah, so you can find the shopping cart, and all the information is at fieldthefamily.org. I think it's right there on their homepage. And you can, if you sign up for an account, they'll actually send you emails just to remind you that the cart's opening, and to get your orders in. But we've got the capacity to do it up in North Liberty. I think they had 20 or 30 orders. I think we've got capacity for up to 100 or so. And if we need to add additional half-hour slots, that sounds like something we can probably finagle to.
have to think about it. This is supporting local farmers.
Yeah.
And this is very convenient for them to be able to just, push off orders instead of sitting at the farmers market for entire time, so it's very convenient for local farmers.
Yep. And they have guidelines for what kind of vendors they'll accept. So it is local goods. It is farm produced goods here in the area. And it's easy to pick up. So
It's really just drive up
it really is.
and they hand you your bag.
It really is. And you can bike and walk too. So you don't have to be in a car. You can walk through the pickup or bike. All good things.
It's too hot right now. So
You can also drive with the air conditioning on and just have them put it in your trunk. All things are okay.
All right. Any other comments regarding staff report?
I have just one more. We haven't
Yeah.
talked about the podcast in a while.
Yeah.
Is there? It seems like it's kind of trending in the wrong direction. Is there anything that we can do to help?
Yeah. So Ryan, that's a good question. And I actually, looking at in my report last month, I noted that it really did sort of look that way. And I pulled some old data, and it actually looks pretty good. Part of what you're seeing, there's a couple of things. Is I pull fresh numbers for downloads each month. So of course, the newer episodes are always going to have fewer downloads. We always see, and we see long tail pickups. We've tried to make those podcasts evergreen, right? They don't really expire. They're good anytime. So I think we're still achieving what we want to achieve, and I think we'll continue to see that. We'll keep monitoring it. If you subscribe if you subscribe, that's great. If you listen and review it in the places where you listen and get your podcasts, that's great. If you mention the podcast to people that that's great. And we continue to seek out guests who are excited about it. And that helps too, right? There's a little bit of synergy there if somebody approaches us and they're really excited about the podcast and they listen to it, they're more likely to share it as the person that's a guest. So that's part of how we think about it too.
Is the podcast just centered on local businesses, North Liberty businesses?
It is. So we try to focus it on people who, not necessarily, it focuses on the people in the business. We try to do bricks and mortar and that sort of thing. We've sort of tried to experiment a little bit. We did one, for example, with the gentleman who plays Santa Claus once. We've done folks who work in the city at like a lifeguard at the pool and those kinds of things. But we've really tried to focus it on our local business community as a way to talk about why North Liberty is a good business community, as well as what they do.
Any other comments? Questions? All right, then we're gonna move on to neighborhood ambassadors update.
Let's hit staffing update real quick first, Keisha, if you don't mind, as I promised.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Well, it's staffing. That's okay. So as you know, Joel left us in mid-April for a new job in Des Moines after he graduated. Sujit, who made a brief appearance before this meeting, started with us last month. We're really excited to have him on board. He worked at PATV for a while. He's worked at a variety of other places doing communications, which is super exciting. He just graduated from the University of Iowa in strategic communications. So we're really excited to have him on board. He's learning how to do online meetings, and then we'll immediately, we're shifting to in-person meetings starting in July. So he'll get to learn how to do meetings all over again. We're really excited to have Sujit on board, particularly as we end up with more community events through the summer. And we did get the new position approved through the city. We will put together and we'll hire that new outreach and equity coordinator position. We're planning to look at that later this year. So either October or November is sort of our hope to get somebody on board. And we'll put together a timeline and a little bit of a plan to make sure that gets out and that we have a really good pool of candidates. So I think it's a really good opportunity for that role. We're excited about that. And that's my staffing update. Just want to make sure we knew who was in and who was out. And then you want me to move along to, we can move along to the neighborhood ambassador update. As I noted in my report, things are going really well. We got our first, we've approved a couple of grants, and I just got my first submission for reimbursement today, which is great. So that was for Ice Cream Social. We've got some garden flags that we're giving out to ambassadors so they can put them out in front of their house so that they give it a little more visibility, both to where they live as well as just to the program. We've also worked with them to sort of develop door hangers so they can go around and if they found them helpful, we asked them to sort of tell us how many they wanted, if they wanted any at all, and they can put them on their neighbors' doors, a little spot if they want to take the time to write a note, or we'll work with them to figure out sort of, do you want to put a sticker with some contact information, whatever makes sense for them and their neighbors. So those are going out to various neighborhoods. And then we're excited to have those folks, when somebody moves into the area or is moving into the area, they've been a great resource. I can refer if we get a question of, can I meet, like, do you have a neighborhood Facebook group or something like that? They're a great person to put in touch with so that those folks can get integrated before they even move into town. And then our next quarterly meeting, we're going to do it in person, and you folks are, of course, all invited. It'll be July 15th at 6 at Quail Ridge Park. I'm going to do just sort of a real basic little, less programmed than maybe they are on Zoom, and a little bit of a meet and mingle and mix and have a little bit of food. And we've got some other things we're going to get out to the ambassadors, but we'd love to have you come if you're available. Again, that's July 15th at 6 at Quail Ridge Park there off of Zeller.
How many ambassadors are we missing from neighborhoods?
I think we still are missing 4 or 5. I don't have the off the top of my head.
So we haven't had anybody drop.
We've had a couple drop in and but some new folks come on. So it's been a little bit. We had a few folks early who didn't sort of know that it was a little bit different than what they expected. And that's fine. We've had some folks who've had other commitments come up and had to drop out, but are hopeful that they can get back on board. And we've had some new folks come on, which has been great.
Has anyone utilized, I don't know if it's been rolled out, the scholarship? I think the $200.
The grants.
Grant, yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple. We've had a couple of submissions come in. I just got my first reimbursement request for ice cream today, so I'll process that. That was exciting. That's exciting. I think folks are looking to do some of them have booked neighborhood pool parties. They're looking to do an outdoor pool with their neighbors this summer, which has been great. And we'll make sure that happens in those spots that are available. So we've seen some of that, and we'll continue. They're still working with through the summer reading program with the library to help to go to some of those pop-ups that they're doing throughout town.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that those funds are being utilized. So
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments regarding neighborhood ambassadors update? All right, then next item on the agenda is meeting update.
Yep. So we're planning to move back into in-person meetings starting in July. I think the mayor's moving council back, and that was sort of the intent. The idea is to move the rest of commissions back at that time. We've worked hard, so we'll have a robust call-in option for folks who still need that or want that to participate in those meetings. We can't do sort of like a parallel Zoom in-person hybrid. That we talked through sort of what those options might be, and there were some real concerns about video syncing and audio syncing becoming more of a distraction and hindrance than actually helpful. So we will rely heavily on just a phone, but we've got a plan for that. So we're excited. I think so. That's that. So as a citywide meetings, that will happen. Our next meeting falls on the 5th of July, which is the 4th of July, Independence Day observed. So I was going to propose that we consider skipping that one. If you want to come on July 15th, that would be great. And then that we plan to meet in person on August 2nd at our normal time.
I'm okay with that. How's everyone else feel?
Yeah, so just to make sure I understand, the 5th, we would move it back a week to the 15th as a Zoom meeting, and then in person in August.
I would the 15th would be
Oh, the 15th is the quill reading.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm. If you want to come, certainly not required. We won't take attendance or provide minutes.
So how does everyone feel about skipping July and doing our next meeting in August?
Works for me.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I wish Tom could vote on it too, but it's okay. We'll miss you, Tom. All right. Anything else about meeting updates? So we're going back to in person in August, just to remind you guys to get to in person. All
We'll
right.
send you an email. We won't send you as many emails about in person as Zoom sends you to remind you of Zoom meetings, but we will remind you.
I like the reminders.
Okay.
Sometimes I delete the
Fair.
All right. So old business. Any old business we want to talk about? How about new business? I do have new business. So Juneteenth is coming up. What is the city doing in regards to, I know co-sponsoring the, I forgot what it's called.
The block party, the downtown block party.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Party.
We don't have a robust plan. We certainly, this last weekend, we hosted Body Embrace, which is not a stand-in and is not focused on what Juneteenth commemorates. We can certainly work with the mayor about a proclamation, which we have done in the past, which is mostly symbolic, understandably, but we'll work with the library to see what they tend to have a good programming and push out information as well as resources that sort of help commemorate Juneteenth, which is the emancipation of enslaved people, well after the Emancipation Proclamation.
There is a history walk-in that's focusing on local Black-owned businesses, and one of those businesses is in North Liberty. So just let you know about that. It'll be Sugar Beach, and there'll be historical information posted at Sugar Beach regarding Juneteenth or local Black history.
Great.
All right. Is there anything we can do better, I guess, this year to educate about Juneteenth?
Yeah, there's a lot of room for growth there. Yeah, there's a lot of room for growth. And honestly, Keisha, I hope that the outreach and equity coordinator would be a good role to help lead some of those initiatives. I think it's a cycles issue, and that's not an excuse. It's just where we're at. And I think more staff focused on that will go a long way. So that's our goal.
Pride. What about pride?
We don't really do much about pride either.
Okay. All right. So I'm just challenging
Yeah,
you.
that's fair.
All right. Any other comments regarding new business? All right. This is Tom's last meeting with us. Tom, you have been absolutely just phenomenal. I've learned a lot from you. And I love how you always are just so open to challenge Nick and the communications department to just reach out to everyone in the city. So that has encouraged me to speak up. So thank you, Tom, for just being a part of this group.
Well, I've enjoyed it. It's a great group to be part of, and I have to reiterate, I think the city of North Liberty is really lucky to have people like you, people like Nick and Jillian, who are willing to do so much hard work and have so much energy and so many really creative ideas. So yeah, keep up the good work, all of you. And thanks for letting me be part of it.
Thanks for being part of it.
Good luck, Tom.
Oh, thank you. Good luck to all of you guys.
All right, so then next is closing. Adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all those in the favor of adjourning this meeting, say aye.
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 All those opposed, speak up. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your evening.